I'm honored to be talking to you today as the co-founder and co-executive director of Good Call. As John says, my expertise was in community organizing and outreach. But in my application to Blue Ridge Labs, I spoke about my life experiences. I grew up in a neighborhood where today the median income is $38,000. I did well in school because I had a mother who tried to keep me focused as best as she could. She enrolled me in karate, took me to choir rehearsal. She even got me into an entrepreneurship program. Ironically, it was on my way there one day in which I was arrested. But we'll talk about that in a bit. My mother's from Guyana, South America. My father was born and raised in Harlem. We lived in Far Rockaway. They separated when I was 1 year old. We all lived together in my aunt's home until my mother couldn't afford to get her own apartment. My mother worked full-time as a public school English teacher. And at night, she went to school to get her master's degree to become an assistant principal. She didn't stop there. A year after I graduated college, my mother went back to school and got her PhD. I really hope I have half of the tenacity that she does. My mother wanted me to go to a school where I was free from daily fights. She saved every penny she had to move us to a house in Long Island. But moving isn't easy, and you can't escape the problems of poverty just by changing your location. And you can't escape the pitfalls of being a young black man just by being well educated. I looked around many times and I tried to think about my life, and I'm so thankful for my mother many times because my mother really tried her best to keep me focused. My mother worked in a school in Brooklyn where oftentimes students were arrested for various infractions. My mother told me, if anything happens, don't say anything to the police. Call me. But being young, I shrugged it off. Soon after my 16th birthday, I was having fun with my friends on the train. Police stopped us and asked us for IDs. We didn't have any. Next thing you know, we were cuffed and taken to the precinct. I was shocked. What did we do? Why are we being arrested? Why are we there? I was worried. I called my sister and I told her where I was. And I told her, promise that you're not gonna tell mommy because I know she's gonna be mad. And she said that she wouldn't. As hours passed, we sat there for longer. They took our belts, our shoelaces, and confiscated the rest of our items. And then they gave us a docket number. We were now part of the system. I tried to talk to the police and let them know, hey, we're innocent. We're good kids. We didn't do anything wrong. And they opened the cell, and I thought it was over. No. They lined us up, handcuffed us, put us in a van, and we were on our way to central booking for arraignments. Arraignments. What did we do? We still had no information. We were scared. After we sat in a cell for another 6 hours, we were able to meet with a public defender, but only for about 5 minutes. Next thing you know, we were in front of a judge who was going to decide our fate. Lucky, it was a minor infraction, ended up being disorderly conduct. And they let us go. When I turned around, that room was dark. But there was a little bit of light, and there was my mother. She was mad. She didn't say a single word. In fact, she didn't talk to me for about 3 days. And I remember on the third day, that Sunday, my mother said, "Jelani, write down your goals on a piece of paper." And I wrote, have a family, start a business, travel. My mother took a match and she lit that paper on fire. And we both watched it burn. And her message was very clear. If I continue down this road, I'm going to be ruining my goals, my dreams, and the things I aspire for in the future. So it's this close call with the law that I brought with me to Blue Ridge Labs. And I remember in that moment, my mother said something to me that stuck with me. She said, "There's many a slip between the cup and the lip." And that proverb was a Caribbean proverb my mother always said to me as a young boy. It was her warning that anything can change at an instant. Nothing is guaranteed. And thinking about that, I always held that with me at Blue Ridge Labs. When we started Blue Ridge Labs, one of our product managers, Gabe Lederose, was excited about the issues that we had to research. I was excited because myself as a black male and having Gabe there, he wanted to study policing, civil rights. This is an issue I was passionate about. And to see invite me wanted to do that, I'm like, yes, let's do this. I brought in people that I knew that had been personally affected by the criminal justice system. One of them shared this story. My friend was in his building. He heard a commotion in his hallway and he stuck his head out. Police ran in the building because they were chasing an alleged robbery suspect. However, my friend stuck his head out at the wrong time and police thought it was him. He spent 2 weeks on Rikers Island before they realized their mistake. He lost his job. It was too late. His story is all too common. And it just makes me remember what my mother said. There's many a slip between the cup and the lip. Now, when we are here today, I'm thinking with my team about how can we get more information about this issue? So we brought in more community members. We had conversations with almost 100 folks. And what we found out was that what they wanted was support in that moment. They were sitting in a jail cell and had no idea what to do or who to call. And we thought, this is powerful. This is that moment. Because everyone has the right to an attorney. Everyone has the access to a phone. But when you're in that moment in a jail cell, if you're able to call a relative, many times the relative doesn't know who to call. And if they know to call a lawyer, they may not have the money to pay for one. This is a serious issue. And this is why, in that moment, they call it a black hole, where no one knows where a loved one is. Their employer has no idea where they are, and they're hoping that their loved one returns home. The Sixth Amendment gives everyone the right to an attorney. But if you're a low-income New Yorker, you're only meeting your public defender 5 minutes before you see the judge, who's going to decide whether you go to Rikers Island or you go home. And that's not enough time. Every year, 50,000 New Yorkers find themselves sitting in a jail cell before even being found guilty of a crime. In fact, they spend 50 days on average during that time. Sometimes they end up losing their jobs, losing their home, compromising their immigration status, or even losing custody of their children. So we're thinking, you know what? This is powerful stuff. How can we prevent this? What if we can connect folks to a lawyer in that point of arrest? If folks are able to get information when they are in the precinct, then your lawyer would have time to establish a case on your behalf. Your loved ones will be able to know what's going on and be able to come and support you. Most importantly, this can dramatically reduce the chances that you'll be sitting on Rikers Island. So we teamed up with another Robin Hood partner, the Bronx Defenders, and Good Call was born. We launched Good Call on August 17th, 2016. As of August, we have expanded to all 5 boroughs of New York City. And we've done this all with under $200,000. We love to see a day where Good Call becomes a national service. One day. But right now, we want to be a household name here in New York that everyone knows, like 911 or 311. But our hotline's only good if people know about it. And that's why we are very thankful, because this year, we've reached almost 1,000 people, and we couldn't have done that without the help from our community members. We have folks in the community handing out cards on cold nights. We have folks inviting us to cookouts, speak at their churches, to go and share this information. And we're all so thankful for that. But our mission is to keep thousands more of men and women in their homes, in their jobs, and with their families. And to do this, we need more boots on the ground spreading the word and information. We need resources so that we can support our young leaders of tomorrow. And we could talk about how to do that. We have some of our team here on the side. Guys, if you want to stand. All right, now. These are some of our community leaders. These folks are actually in the community, coming from the communities, changing their communities. They have cards and bracelets for you guys if you guys want to get some. These are the cards we hand out in the community. But honestly, being here today makes me very thankful, because it's the support of our leaders and support of everyone that's gotten us here and that's going to push us farther. So our slogan at Good Call is, "We got your back." Can I hear you guys say that?
We got your back.
And I want to thank you guys. I want to thank Blue Ridge Labs. I want to thank Robin Hood for having ours. Thank you.